Just waiting for some of you to jump in. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm just doing this video because I wanted to talk to some of you guys today, and I'm just chilling. But I also want to talk about something that was brought up that was really, really, really interesting. So I want to give you um my elaborate perspective on it. Okay. So I'm gonna wait for a few more of you to come up. What's up, everybody? Who are you four that are watching? Say hello. Nice. How was it? What's up, Donald? What's up, man? Yo, Donald, telling you, man, that this meditation with Pyman today was insane. I did not expect Lucifer to show up, so it was pretty dope, man. I'm just waiting for a few more people to show up. If people are gonna show up, but if not, I'm gonna just say what I was gonna say because there's some really cool stuff that I'm gonna be speaking on. That might be a little controversial, but I want to talk about it anyway. What's up? How you doing? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Just working on some stuff, and really, other than that, just wanted to do this video and just talk to some of you guys. But also, I wanted to say something about a specific thing that was asked of me when it came down to Lucifer, when it came down to any of the demonic beings. Nice. How do you feel about that petition, man? Okay. Nice, nice. That's good to hear for sure. Divine, I'm pretty good. I am pretty good. Um, just really just chilling. So here's what I wanted to talk about since there's not a lot of people who are showing up. Share this shit for people who love the occult. Share this on Facebook. Share this everywhere for people who might like this kind of topic and might like this kind of discussion. Because when it comes down to Lucifer, Lucifuge, when it comes down to Beelzebub, when it comes down to any of the demonic kings, okay, I do hear a lot of people talking about things that have to do with the elite or elitists, okay? And I want to talk about that today because someone was asking me if I would consider Lucifer to be someone that's evil, but also if they, if Lucifer or any of the higher up beings would would be considered evil because they work with people who would be considered elitist, okay? Look, these spirits, I'm gonna keep it very, very real. When it comes down to working with these energies, with these spirits, they will work with anyone that gives them offering that is respectful of them. Okay, it doesn't entail that they are good or evil. It just means that they will work for things in exchange. That's really how it is. So at the end of the day, there are other people who use them for things that might not be good, that might not have good intentions. But that is the reason why I tell people get to know the spirits, build a relationship with spirits of the infernal realms, literally build them for that reason, because you will not be affected by a lot of the shit that will be put out there, especially when you can identify spirits and know about their energies. Okay. Yeah, because there's a most people fear, fear these beings because of one thing or another, or something that they were brought up to believe. But in reality, when it comes down to showing them respect and actually giving them offering, they do work for people because they're not really on anyone's side per se. They they work for what is given, you know? So if you are kind to them, if you are respectful to them, if you are familiar with them, that will help you in the long run. That's very, very beneficial. There's people who need to really understand this. It's beneficial to know them for that reason. Even if you don't ever intend on working with them, I would recommend studying as many of them as possible because of this. This is how I think about it. When you think of someone casting or putting a curse or casting a spell on someone, you think sometimes a lot of these spirits tend to be unidentified, or not documented. Some people work with spirits that come from what are they called? Some people work with the Olympic spirits. Okay, some people work with spirits of planetary, um, basically of the planetary spirits. Some people work with spirits that come from a plethora of different pantheons. If you study them and you know them, and you know about their energy signatures and you can sense them, this will prevent you from actually getting attacked. Because if that spirit does, in fact, know you, okay, they're not going to do anything to you because they're familiar with you, especially if you have an established bond or build rapport with them in the past. If you have a certain level of respect and they recognize you, there is a less likely outcome of you actually having that curse or that spell affect you. Okay, does that make sense? The only jinn that I work with is Paimon, and I do sort of know about Iblis, but I have not worked with him as much. But I do love the jinn. I love the jinn. They're really fucking awesome. So I will say that. They're awesome. I love their energies because they just give you an entirely different perspective of life. They give you an entirely different perspective of magic. Okay, they give you an entirely different perspective of even morals, if that makes sense. Because all of these all of these entities have so many different kinds of thought process. They have so many different kinds of beliefs. So when you become more, in tune with their energies, you get to get a feel for their belief system, a feel for how they go about, interacting with beings in their world, but also beings here on a daily basis, which is pretty fascinating to me. Do I have other ones get jealous when I've wanted to work with others? I cannot say that I have had any yet. Okay. What I will say is that when I was first starting off, Beam did not want Pyman around. Okay. Um, Now I understand why, but in the past I really didn't. I feel like now it really makes a lot of sense to me. So that's the reason why Bune was a little kind of on the fence about it. But now they both get along. I can work with them. I can work with them simultaneously. Some dukes, because of their egos, they clash. Some marquis, some of the lower ranking spirits tend to clash, because they don't, I don't know, they probably just they don't have enough experience, if that makes sense. So they are working on themselves too. A lot of them are also working on themselves, because just because we live here, that doesn't mean that we're the only life forms that experience these kinds of um, thought process, or these kinds of how do I say that? Just because we're here in the living realm, that doesn't mean that we are the only ones that think the way that we do. They think those ways as well, especially the lesser spirits. They think in these ways as well. Okay. Sometimes they're trying to get over on each other, sometimes they fight. And that's the reason why they have a hierarchy in the first place, to determine whether or not certain spirits are going to kind of listen, to keep them in order, especially if you're calling forward a spirit. If you're calling it forward a spirit like Asmodee, okay? As a gatekeeper, Asmodee can put a lot of other spirits in line, right? As someone like Lucifer as well, he's going to be able to put a lot of other lesser spirits in line. Yeah, Anubis is very much so on the fence about a lot of different entities that come from other pantheons that might entail energies that can bring forward chaos or can bring forward any kind of destruction. Okay, so Anubis is very protective for those that walk with him, those that work with him, those that devote themselves to him. Anubis is very, very, very much so overly protective at times, but I feel like it's for good reason. As I've said, they all have their own beliefs. They all can sense things on different levels. So if Anubis feels like he doesn't trust something, there's probably a good reason. Yes, yes. Any info on that? Yes. I fucking work with so many different beings. I've experienced a lot of them. For example, in the past, I had worked very heavily with Shiva. Okay. I just didn't really like the way that he went about things, especially because Shiva is the type of being that wants you to just fully work with him and only him. Okay. Was very jealous in my eyes. I'm going to very soon start connecting more so to Greek, demigods and Greek deities. Recently, I've come across a Grecian deity that is known as Serapis. If any of you know about Serapis, please email me so that I can, kind of look into some of the information that you might have and learn about your experiences with this spirit, because I've come across him, but I don't exactly know who it is yet. So I'm going to go and get my own gnosis, but I also want to digest someone else's gnosis just to see, you know, what it's like to encounter that spirit. Yes, I'm Lemurian. I come from, I have ties to Lemuria, and the language that Anubis usually speaks is Lemuria. Okay, so if you want to learn about Lemuria and you want to learn about the times of old, you can talk to Anubis. When you ask him about these things and you know about them, it's one thing to know about these things. It's another thing when to kind of jump to conclusions. So when you ask Anubis about Lemuria, he will tell you about Lemuria if you're ready to learn about it, okay? Because there are some that are not ready. He won't introduce you to anything that you are not ready for. But Lemuria was a very much so energetically feminine place, okay, to reside. It was full of a lot of different systems of magic and a lot of energy bodies and beings that came from different pantheons that were able to live in harmony. Okay, the Kitsune being a main group, okay, that resided there, that were allies to the Anu and allies to Anubis. Okay, they were very close knit. Lemuria was a family. It's a family. Okay, it is a very kind, very peaceful, energetic time. It does make me very sad when I speak about it as well because I have brethren that have fallen, you know, from the likes of others that were opposition to those who walked the land of Lemuria. And those that come from Lemuria, they tend to have problems with energies that connect to, um, if it makes sense, Oceania. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. BB. I know what that means. That's funny. It's really funny because I was very much so someone that was afraid to swim as well. I was very afraid of water too. And a lot of us that come from Lemuria, we tend to be afraid of water. It's true, which is very ironic in the sense that a lot of us, a lot of us were around water, and we were living within realms that consisted of water, where we could even breathe underwater. So yeah, my fear was too. It's really funny that you said that because mine was too. Mine was the same way. Yeah. I actually had Divine. I actually had a dream of drowning, and I had a past life where I was being trained in the military, and they were showing me how to get over the fear of drowning. And they basically had, and I'm not in the military. I've never been in the military in this life, but what they showed me was basically you diving in and sinking to the bottom, weighing myself down because they put rocks. Okay, I wasn't tied up or anything. They just were giving me this mental discipline where I jumped in and I sank to the bottom of this pool. Okay, in this body of water. And as I started to get the fear of choking and suffocating and feeling like I couldn't breathe, I started to kind of mentally just emit this source of light to calm myself down, just really to distract myself, if that makes sense. And I would see this energy, this energetic body in front of myself, kind of projecting from me, and I'm watching it. It was distracting me from losing my air, losing my oxygen. So it made me help. It helped me to take smaller breaths, if that makes sense, to help myself remain underwater for longer. And it took my mind completely off of the fact that I was even underwater and I was able to face that fear. Then I had another past life where I was very afraid of needles, and I had the experience of being afraid of needles because I died in a past life as a Roman warrior, and I got a fucking spear impaled through my chest. All right, it also made me afraid of red. It also made me afraid of blood. But when I actually was able to see that and realize that this is something that happened, needles are no thing to me. It's nothing. I could prick my finger, put blood out. I can cut myself, and it won't bother me. Doesn't bother me. It's actually really exciting, and I consider it extremely sacred now that I've worked with that. I was afraid of spiders too, and then I met Paimon, and then I ended up getting basically dared from from influence from my girlfriend, but also influence from Paimon, and I ended up putting a big fucking tarantula on my head. And then I got another one put on my head, and then I got a scorpion put on my nose, and it was crawling on my forehead, and two snakes in real life. And I got a picture taken, and the only thing that I got bit by, honestly, which was really fucking funny and ironic, the only thing I got bit by was a hedgehog that I was holding. hmm It is weird, but 305. The thing that's interesting about spiders, that correlation to spiders comes from the Egyptian pantheon, believe it or not. And that directly stems from a past life of yours. Those tend to stem from people's past lives, who you are truly, who your soul truly is. That's why you'll have visitors that take the shape of a spider, that connect to you, that have that energy. But there are also other beings in different pantheons that align to energies of the spider and have a spider aspect. Okay. Yeah. Sonic. Yeah, it bit my hand. I was just like, wow. And I was like, take this thing away from me with a scorpion on my head. And the scorpion didn't even sting me. The spiders didn't even bite me. The snakes didn't even bite me. A hedgehog bit me. So it was pretty funny. Yes, I did. I did, LJ, very much so. But I was more so someone that was on the right hand path at first. But I studied into a lot of these different things. Not to say pantheons, because the only one that I was really into was Egyptian, and because that correlated to a lot of things that happened within my life, so it gave me a huge fascination. But I also looked into, as a teenager, a lot of different religious systems and their artwork, because I started to learn how to travel through dimensions through art and scrying as a clairvoyant. Yeah, Sonic, right? Let me see. Yes, yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right, let me see, because I have to think of the spirits that can help with that kind of stuff. I know spirits that can help with linguistics. When you talk to Lucifuge Rofokale, he's very good at teaching linguistics. If you work with any spirits that come from Doth, which I would say you need to talk to someone who can help you to initiate through Doth, okay? Because it's very fucking dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But there are spirits of Doth that can teach you different languages. From my experience, I've actually ended up learning Italian a bit from certain spirits that came from Doth. Now, LJ, I don't exactly know. I can't exactly answer that question because of the fact that Anubis, and myself working with Anubis, from my experience with Anubis, and from my experience with a lot of these beings, they don't have a lot of ties to real human race because they were never human. Most of them were never human. So with Anubis, he literally is not even from Earth. He's not, his energy, his the real essence of Anubis does not come from Earth whatsoever. It did not originate here. He had existed very, very, very long ago, far before any of us were here. Um, so I don't know because I haven't asked him that. I haven't asked him that. Okay. The risks, the risks of traveling to the astral realm are basically, you face risk of being attacked by spirits that don't want you to find certain things, that don't want you to move to higher levels than you already, than where you are. You have spirits that really just don't want you to ascend, and they're just dark. That's just who they are. Some of them are really dark. Um, some of them want to fuck you up. Some of them want to feed on you. Some of them want to kill. Some of them want to do whatever they want with you, and that's just what it is. um, there are spirits that are that way. There are. Okay, how long will it take? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna finish this real quick. So when it comes down to the astral realm, sorry, because I got sidetracked. Though that's a danger. You also face the danger of attracting parasites. Okay, and the way that you keep yourself from getting attacked, the way that you keep these spirits from coming forward to feed on you, is working on your vibration, okay? Working on your light and dimming it so it's not as bright and emitting different frequencies that spirits are going to find fascinating, okay? Because the ones that can find it fascinating can be kind, but there's other ones that can be intranquil and they just want to fucking wreak havoc, okay? I hope that makes sense. Shit, I don't know. I don't I don't really know what it's called. A buzz cut with like a fade or something? Because it's not a taper, it's like a fade. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that's really the dangers from my experience that I know of. Let me see. I know that someone asked about shadowmancy. Shadowmancy. Um, talk to Asmodee. Okay, talk to Asmodee. Talk to Amdusius. Talk to Anubis. You can whoever has connections to Anubis, whoever works with Anubis. If Anubis is your basically if Anubis is your patron, talk to Anubis. Okay, Anubis loves to help with shadowmancy. He loves to help with those that don't understand death or the essence of death. He can help you really get a full comprehension and digestion of what that energy is and how to utilize your shadows, okay? And also how to utilize the shades of the deceased. Anubis is really fucking good for that kind of work. That's what I say I like to work with him for. But majority of the spirits that heal and work with healing abilities, work with your emotions, they tend to work with the shadows. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Family photos, making them their favorite food. So say if you had a grandma, a great grandma, even a cousin, someone who's an elder. Usually, it's better to do it with someone who's an elder. Um, you put the picture up, make their favorite food, put it out for them, light some of the scents that they usually used to like, get their perfume sprayed in the air over that area, get it as as comfortable and beautiful as possible, that to where it relates to what they loved, okay, what they enjoyed. Put their favorite things there, and then you can petition them and you can ask them for things. Hmm. Yeah, Anubis is really awesome. Like he's very kind. He is very kind. He's very helpful. But when it comes down to myself, when I'm learning, he because of it, it's really because of where I come from. That's his energy. So because I'm where he's my family, he acts completely different than he would to people who really just are devotees to him. It's a lot different. Yeah. I already work with those energies, but not Paulo. I don't mess with Paulo. Hmm. You also, here's something that I want to say too. Anubis is an expert when it comes to any kind of crystal that you're trying to identify, any kind of crystal that you're trying to get the most work out of. Anubis can help you a lot with that. He's very good with crystals. Like I've said, crystals, lasers, healing magic, okay, working with your past lives, working to get you access to the Akashic records. Anubis can help you access the Akashic records. Anubis can help you to learn astral projection. He can help you align and basically integrate your Merkaba. Okay, he can open it up and help you to travel to your your planet of origin. Okay, if you have specific planets that you align to, you can get initiated into the spheres of whichever planets you really align to and connect to. A reading that can identify where you come from. Um, yeah, I personally don't offer that because I'm not extremely confident with that as of yet, but it will be something that comes in the future because I'm working on that with Anubis currently. I just don't recognize these beings that are coming forward when people shapeshift. Some of these beings are extraterrestrials that are not documented, so I can't really identify them yet because I haven't really learned about them, if that makes sense. Because the ones that really show up are the ones that I have experienced in a past life before or I have experienced here. Yo, okay, look, Jay, I'm just getting to other stuff. I can't answer everybody all at once. I'm trying the best that I can. When it comes down to being, you need to understand a lot of these spirits don't want to work with you. That's the truth. A lot of these spirits do not want to work with you and they do not want to be fucked with. So I would advise you talk to someone who knows about spirits that want to connect with you or can identify the spirits that want to connect with you because some of them you might piss them off. So you need to be very cautious about who you are approaching and who you're trying to work with if you really don't have ties to them. And Bune is one of those. Bune can either be very kind and very loving or very fucking harsh and cold. And that's just what I have to say about that. Um, I just don't feel like there's energies that you align to when it comes to Bune. I don't feel like you align to Bune, so I don't think you should work with Bune. I can sense that from you, and I don't think that that's a good idea. But usually, I'll answer the question though. Usually, when it comes down to working with Bune, it depends on your bond with that spirit. It depends on who you are. It depends on the power that you have. It depends on what you can will into existence. It really depends on what you can will. And you can ask Bune or any spirit about willing things into existence, especially Bune. Bune will help you to understand that if there is a real connection. But you have to understand, like I said, if you don't have a connection, they're not going to fuck with you. They're not going to want to work with you, and that's a fact. And I can guarantee you that. Hmm. Yes, yes. Yes, there are angels. There are angels. Exactly. Yes, there are melanated extraterrestrials. Yes, there are. There are melanated extraterrestrials. And when it comes down to the Bible, there is truth. And the truth is there are demons that are identified in the Bible that are actually real. Okay? Like Beelzebub is identified in the Bible. Asmodee is identified in the Bible. Satan, Lucifer, like they're identified in the Bible. They are. There's certain angels that are identified in the Bible too that have their own power, you know? Yes. And you can work with them. You can work with demons. You can work with angels all alike. Okay. I don't get so caught up in the religious belief part of, working with angels or working with any of these spirits because of the fact that I want to have my own unique experience and not you know, someone else's religious belief. Okay. Because those are manipulative mechanisms, if that makes sense, all right? If it doesn't, hey, yes, there is. I would say do protection rituals for this strawberry moon. Do protection rituals, do protection rituals, do protection rituals. How do you talk to angels and spirits? Hey, talk to them, summon them. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. How you doing, Edward? When it comes down to Santeria, there's no real way of determining whether or not, you need to be initiated or you don't because either they want to work with you or they don't want to work with you. Either they're with you or they're not with you. That's what it is. Some people need to be initiated, some people don't. Some people already have a connection with them. That's how I feel about that. Yeah, Mike, I was talking about it. When it comes to shadowmancy, because I'm no expert, so I'm not about to give a bunch of tips. Plus, these are things that I utilize personally And if there's anybody who, who I've been using this on, I definitely don't want them to know how I go about doing it. So I'm not giving that out. But I will say, um, there is there are spirits that you can work with for shadowmancy and understanding shadowmancy. No, no, I'm alone. I work by myself. I do have friends that I connect to that I have very strong ties to, but I wouldn't say it's a coven. I'm just connected to them through the lives that we've had. I'm connected to them through times of old. I'm connected to them through Anubis and our lineage. You can ask Azazel about Shadowmancy. He can really help you. He understands Legion. Okay, he understands Legion and how they operate. He understands how to work with shadows. But you can also ask Amdusias, Asmodee, Santa Muerte, Anubis, Osiris, Hecate, any of the undead, any of the death gods. They can help you understand Shadowmancy. Blood magic is a psychic link. In my experience, blood magic, when you're putting blood down, that's a psychic link. It's allowing the spirit to link to you to have more access to your vessel. Okay, it makes it easier for them to possess you. It makes it easier for them to actually give you more answers, deeper gnosis. Okay, and if there's any other ways or other things that you can utilize, then you can use it. But that's what blood magic does for me, at least from my experience. I'm no expert on a lot of these things, but I do have experience with them. What do I feel from you? Firstborn, you're fucking awesome, dude. You've been really fucking awesome for a very long fucking time, man. And you've been a good friend. You've been there through me. You've been there for me through a lot of bullshit, okay? And I really appreciate you. Especially when it comes down to coming out of, you know, the right hand path and all of the new age communities and shit and all of the shit that we've dealt with when it came down to that. So I really salute you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot for being a true friend and never fucking turning your back on me. How do I get blood? Um, I'll use my athame and cut a finger, or I'll prick my finger with how you doing? I'll prick my finger with attack or something, or you can use like a diabetic lancet. You can use that. Some people fucking bite their tongue. mm, what purpose this serves? He's not gonna reveal that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, there's just stuff that there's just stuff that they're not gonna tell you. There's stuff they're not gonna say, especially him. He's not gonna say that because there's things that aren't meant to be understood, and there's things that are not meant to be known. There's things that aren't meant to be asked about. So I wouldn't think too deep into it. That's just from my experience when I've asked about things like that. Yeah, I do. So you can just email me. Email me. My links are usually in my description. Uh, yeah, I speak usually with any of the spirits or deities that I communicate with in telepathic. You know, when it comes down to telepathy, you just gotta really practice. You gotta really practice that. You gotta work that shit out. Really good. How you doing, energy? Yeah. See, I don't actually know. I don't actually know because I haven't really looked into that, so I cannot. I can't confirm nor deny that because I haven't been paying enough attention. Maybe I should, but I haven't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't been paying attention to that, so I'm not exactly sure about that. I have heard actually that they are, but that's not from the spirits. I've just heard because I saw a post about it, and that's probably where you heard of it. But it might be true. It might be true because there's a lot of shit that's going on this year that's very fucking awesome and liberating for sure. No, No, I don't. No, that'd be fucking asinine to do. Divine. No, you can email me. That's fine. No, I wouldn't do that. Not unless I'm hired. Like I don't. Not unless I'm hired and there's things that you want personal gnosis about, or there's things that you really want to pick my brain about, then you can hire me to do that. You can get a consultation for that, and I'll answer whatever questions you want if I have knowledge of it. Tarot cards are not a fucking game. Tarot cards are real. Tarot cards will really reveal to you some shit that if you haven't tapped into your abilities yet, tarot cards will reveal to you shit that you didn't really know about yourself. Okay, they can even reveal to you your connections to spirits that you work with or might want to work with you or connect with you, even spirits who might be attacking you, even people who might be attacking you, even people who might be throwing curses at you. Man, there's a lot of shit that tarot cards can do that can really help you. They speak the truth. mm, I I don't know. I don't know because I don't read about the stories. I don't like to. I don't like to. I don't like reading about them. I don't like reading about the stories. I don't like reading about them because that's somebody else's opinion. That's somebody else's experience. So, especially when it comes down to Egypt, because I everybody has an opinion and everybody has an ego. Everybody has shit that they perceive to be the one and only way. So when it comes down to that stuff, I don't believe that shit. I just don't look at it. If I want information, I'll study a little bit and research, but then I will go straight to the spirit for the answer. Straight to the spirit if I have a question, you know? It is beautiful. It's fucking amazing. Hi, Star. How you doing? How should you proceed? I would say the way that you can go about connecting with Belial, talk to someone that is like an archangel that can help you to that can guide you to take baby steps. um I know Riel is very good with that kind of stuff. um what's the other name? Lauvida is very good with that. I'm learning their names. I don't really know how to announce their names yet, but Lauvida is very good with that too. Metatron's also really good with that too, helping you take those steps into understanding your understanding how to start coming in contact with those spirits. But if you wanted to, you also could just go to someone like Astaroth, because Astaroth's a beginner spirit, but also Lucifer. He can help you with that too, to help you to take those steps to forming that relationship and forming that bond. Okay? Because Belial can be a powerhouse. That's all I'm going to say about him. He can be a powerhouse sometimes, from my experience. So if you don't really understand the humor or the personality, it's going to be a little intense. But then again, he might be very kind, but you never know. So I don't want to push you to go do that and then you get into some shit that you can't get yourself out of. So that's why I wanted to give those tips. So yeah, you can talk to Lucifer. hmm Sometimes they're repetitive. Sometimes they're repetitive. It depends on who the spirit is, because certain spirits don't like to repeat themselves. Anubis, he does not like to repeat himself. Um, Astaroth doesn't repeat herself to me. I mean, repeat himself, because Astaroth shows up to me as a female, but with a male's voice. So Astaroth is a male to me. um, but Astaroth um, does not like to repeat himself either. I know that Bune repeats herself a lot. So it really depends. When it comes to telepathy, it really depends. Some of them will give you messages where they're like, knock, 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 go, store, door, 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 door. Yes, 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 yes. And they'll repeat things. Other ones don't. No, no. The way Lucifer looks to me is Lucifuge. It's Lucifuge's aspect of the Black Ram. That's how Lucifer looks to me. He stands to me with, with the hooves. He's all black with very shiny horns that curve up like this, and he has green eyes, and they're very, very beautiful green eyes. And his coat is very, very, it's just flawless, flawless. And you just, when you're in the presence of him, you just feel fucking, you feel just all this honor. You feel all of this sacred, just energy of just respect. You just know to respect him. Okay. No, he doesn't scare me though. Yeah, exactly. He will, exactly. He really will. He really will. He'll really reveal that shit to you, and he does not care how you feel about it. That's a fact. I'm glad you said that. But yeah, a ram with green eyes to me. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, that does sometimes entail um that the spirit is around you or wants to work with you because, as I've said, Marcosius, when I met Marcosius was one of the spirits that was around me. And I was like, huh, okay. I heard it in the dream, and then I was like, I've never looked into Marcosius, had never studied Narcosius, never looked at that goetic deity, literally ever. And I was like, you're Marcosius. I know you. And then that's when the being shapeshifted, and I saw Marcosius attacking people who were fucking with me. So yeah, yeah, they come to you in your dreams, and when you hear their name, take that seriously because it's there's probably something that they have for you. They usually have gifts, in the form of a message, not anything that's a physical gift. Okay, because I don't want to tell anybody anything that doesn't make sense. Oh, from Mojo? Yeah, yeah, there is. Talk to for that kind of stuff. Talk to Anubis. Talk to Anubis. That, like, if you want to learn about your chi, your energy field, you want to learn about your energy body, you can talk to Anubis. Okay, you can talk to Vishnu, you can talk to Shiva, you can talk to Elegua. Okay, you can talk to people like um I'm not gonna say Krishna because Krishna is he does too much. You can talk to Lakshmi Ma. Lakshmi is amazing and so kind, and she can help you with that too. Yep, yep. Just strengthening your bond with him. Talk to him, research him. You can research them even, and they'll be around you more. Okay, they'll start to come around you a lot more if you start researching them. The more you read about them, the more you study them. That's you building intimacy with them. It's kind of like you're seducing them, and they will come forward. They will. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Very true. Very true. Shiva also reveals to people that might tempt, like that might be your enemies by taking possession of them and having them come to attack you. Because if people can't resist Shiva, and from my past and my experience, they were enemies, and it was later revealed that person was an enemy when Shiva came forward and told me about that, especially when that person did what they did. So yeah. Yeah, working more with spirits, working more with the spirits. That's the first means of communication that you're going to be establishing anyway, is telepathic communication. Just listen to your thoughts. Listen to yourself when you're doing a meditation. Listen to yourself. Ask questions. And if you're getting answers, it's your intuitive ability, but it's nonetheless telepathy. Yep. There you go, Mike. There you go, Mike, because of the fact that Marcosius has been around this month. I mean, last month. That's when I had my dream. Marcosius has been around very much so. But there's direct correlation to why there's a real reason why Marcosius was approaching you in the time that she did. Okay. So look into her. If you've already met her and you've already heard the name, go talk to her. She probably was ready. You're probably ready to meet her, is what I'm trying to say. Yep, you can burn blood on paper. Yeah, don't give up at all. Yeah, Lilith is one of a kind. One of a kind. Like forming your bond and connecting with Lilith is just one of a kind. Like seriously. How you doing? Hi. Lilith is very Lilith, okay, and Nama, but also Kali. They have very similar energies, okay, because they align to the succubi. They are very, very similar when it comes to the certain types of energy work that they do. And when it comes down to the things that they specialize in, they are fucking awesome for that kind of work. Yeah, and you would burn the blood on the paper. Yeah. It's a sacrifice. That's another sacrifice to them. You can burn your hair, you can burn a lot of things. Yes, she will. She will. Kali, divine. Kali will in males and females. Kali's great for that. But I would just say because there's a lot of them that just they're like this. This is just their energy. So they're not trying to, you know, they're not trying to seduce you. They just are this way. Their energy's just that way. They come off in this way. Yeah, because mine are like this. Yeah. Yeah. My abilities when I first went through my awakening experience, I had known that I was able to communicate telepathically, that I was a clairvoyant, that I had um, clairsentience and that I was claircognizant. So I had really all of them, and they were all in tandem. They all worked at the same time. But this is what happens when you first awaken and you don't realize that that's just a little teaser. You have your awakening and then it's a fucking teaser, and then you have to deal with the fact that they're going to weaken if you don't work on them. So you have to continue building up on them and work them out like muscles. And when you work them out, then you get to the point where you can use them whenever you want. And I still am not someone that uses all of them all the time because I mean I'm human, There's things that we just don't do all the time. But I'm working on it. She will come up when she wants. She's in my chart too. She's in my chart too. That's funny because she's in my chart too. Yeah, but that's the truth. They're awesome. They are awesome. And for those of you who have connections to Santa Muerte, like it just makes me feel just so good. Like whenever I talk about her, I just feel all this energy of just love. She's amazing. You know what? Yeah, I do. I haven't created one because I don't use it as much, but I'd be down to create one, so everyone can interact and talk and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. They are wild, yeah. Yeah, we could do that. You guys want to have like a little community thing where you guys can interact and talk to each other and have like a little forum type deal because we could do that. I know Discord allows that. You can have like a whole little room customized and everything. You can put your gnosis up and stuff. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I'm a Pisces. Yes, as hell. Facts. Facts. Yeah, it is. It is efficient enough. It's very efficient. It really depends on what you're doing and who you're talking to. Because if you're talking to someone that can really help you with understanding these abilities and you're working on them, yeah, it is efficient. It will definitely be efficient. Okay, as Pyman says, that will suffice. That will suffice. What do I consider my being? Um, I'm an Anu, so that's what I would consider myself. But I also have energies that connect to, draconians. I don't like to speak on my family as much because there are things that are political that I don't want to end up getting tied into that correlate to the draconians. They do tell you what's going on right now. They also tell you what's going on, what's going to be happening in the future too. Yeah, they do. Tarot cards are pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What advice would I give a beginner starting out on this path? What advice would I give a beginner starting out on this path? Advice I would give a beginner starting out on this path would be working with your ancestors. Start talking to your guides, talk to your guides, talk to your cousins, talk to your relatives that have passed away first. They can determine whether or not energies are going to be dangerous for you. I want to say this because of the fact that it will help you greatly if you connect with them before you connect with anyone else, because they will be able to protect you if there are any dangers that you might not be able to sense as of yet. But also, I would recommend just studying as much as possible, but also trying to go for contact. You're going to have to just jump in and you're going to have to find out what works for you and what doesn't. Hmm. Any channels that I could recommend? The only channel that I know that is really, really legit um, is one of my friends, Tobias B. Harrell. Okay. He he has information on Lemuria. He speaks on different things that connect to the Anu, connect to Anubis, connect to um, things like that. But we have gotten in trouble politically before for introducing people who to those concepts that are not really initiated, that haven't met them yet because they're very secretive and they don't fuck around. So I don't like to really go into things like that when it comes down to them because they don't play. Neither do the draconians. They don't play. So I don't I don't I don't do that. Cuz it's, you know. So you can go look him up and you can look up his channel. He has a few things that speak on it. There are a few things that he talks about that, that he can bring a direct understanding to, but I will not go in depth on who they are because I'm not about to I'm not dealing with them. I saw that. His channel is Tobias B. Harrell on my left arm. It is the oh yeah, this one. You know what that is. The upper one. I don't have an upper one. The only one that I have is right here. That's this one. I have this one. Um I had the Eye of Ra device on me and I had to get that closed off because the Eye of Ra is a construct that is not That is not something that is good. Okay, I'll just say that it's not good. So if you do get the Eye of Ra and you start experiencing chaotic energies or things of that sort, get someone to close that portal because tattoos are portals, tattoos are links to the ancients, tattoos are protection, tattoos are sigils, tattoos are magic, and they're curses as well. So, no, I'm not the only one that practices this. The other ones were very secretive about it, and um, my family is in some orders of magical systems that people don't. How do I say that? That people just don't understand. I'll say that. But that's my elders. That's a few of, that was my grandmother on my father's side and one of my uncles, one of my great uncles. Other than that, I don't know about anyone else who is a practitioner. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. I have all of them up. All right. Let me see real quick. I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know because I haven't looked into my ancestry. I haven't really looked into tapping into my DNA, but there is a chance that I might be because my family has told me about this before, and I just might be. I might be, but also because of the fact that the accents, I can do accents very well when I'm channeling any kinds of voodoo, loa, if I'm channeling any kinds of deities that come from Santeria, if I'm channeling anything that has to do with um, Islander or Caribbean descent, usually I take on the accent and really get into character. So could potentially be, but I'm not exactly sure if I can confirm that. And energy, my Cash App, fuck, I should have put it on the screen, but my Cash App is um, Hez, Heze, C, capital C, okay, and 23. So Hezi C 23. That's my Cash App. And it's active. I just don't have it up right now. Um, I need to fucking put it on there. I will put it on here though. No problem. He doesn't have too much, um, Arc2, but there's some information there, but you also will get to learn about non-human dialect. Oh, Jeremiah, whew, man, yes, I have. Okay, I fucking have. I've faced mental illness from direct attack. Okay, I've faced mental illness from direct attack that came from my family, came from the Anu, because they don't fuck around when it comes to letting anyone in that is not family or not an initiate. So if I'm introducing any kind of concepts that have to do with the Anunnaki, and I slip up and I'm giving any of that stuff and they don't approve of it, they're gonna fuck me up. Yeah, I've dealt with basically losing sight of who I was. So what would that be? Someone who has like dementia, because I didn't remember who I was. I woke up when I had my awakening and literally I had a walk-in. Okay, so I was calling my family names that did not exist. Okay, I was calling them names that didn't exist. I was telling them things that I remembered because I thought that I was this into this energy that walked into me. Okay. Um, I had memory wipes. I was dealing with losing my memory, losing everything when I would talk to people, especially when I was talking to people who were of Anu origin. I would lose my memory when I was talking to them. I would, I would be extremely afraid and I would have anxiety and I would be depressed around certain people. There was a lot of things that were going on to me that I was able to work through when it came down to connecting to spirits, when I finally stopped being afraid to. But Anubis helped me through all of that. What was Ra like? Ra was like this: I'm your god. I'm a fucking god. I can create planets. I know how to destroy shit. I can build you up. I can break anyone down that you would like. I can empower you into any system of magic that you could ever imagine. And Ra was also saying that he is he was basically saying he's considered to be someone that is a divine creator, if that makes sense. That's what he was telling me. And Ra also introduces people to beings that come from this place that's referred to as Quarzius. Okay, and Quarzius is a place that has direct connection to the extraterrestrial race that is referred to as the Solarians. Fucking Poseidon. I'm never connected to Poseidon, but I'm actually about to start going into working with Greek deities pretty soon. So I will have gnosis about them too. Thank you. Do I know that he's had an Earth incarnation? See, I'm not exactly sure because Paimon, whenever I walk with him, whenever I talk to him, okay, we always end up in the desert. All right, that might be because of the people who had, started to formulate and create the construct and overlay of who they believe Paimon was. Okay, when they kind of created their servitors to look like him, and those servitors basically were consumed by him, and he became that because that's what happens, with belief systems if people work with them long enough. I don't know. I don't know. And I like to say I don't know because I don't know everything. Okay. When it comes to Pyman, I've never really asked him about that. Um, Maybe I just don't ask good questions, but I've never asked him about that. Yeah, no, for real, divine. Because I remember somebody told me about that too when it came down to Percy Jackson. Because one time, Anubis has always been there. He's always walked with me. He's always been there. Always has been there. Okay. When I was in Florida and I was really very down bad and I was homeless, um, for a few weeks. I didn't have any food. I didn't really have any money. And I was walking down the street, and this is a true story. And I saw something told me to look down, and I saw a golden scarab. It was probably about that big, which scarabs do not grow to be that big, and scarabs do not come in the color of a shimmering fucking gold, the way that this one was on the ground. And it ran from the left to the right. Okay, so probably the from the southwest to the northeast. Okay, if that makes sense. And it ran from the southwest to the northeast of me, and I was just like, whoa. And I asked the guy that I was walking with, did you see that? He didn't see it. Okay. So I was just thinking, man, I really want something to eat. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I just wish I could have something. Next thing you know, 5 minutes pass and we're walking down the street, and my favorite sandwich was on the bus stop bench. My favorite drink, which was ginger ale, was on the bus stop bench. The sandwich was, look, that to a T, my favorite because of this reason. It was a ham and cheese sandwich. It had mayonnaise, okay? It had mustard on it, and it was the good kind of mayonnaise. It wasn't that weird gas station mayonnaise. It was like they made it perfectly, especially for me, which was really fucking funny. And so the bread was pretzel bread. I fucking love pretzels. And I was just like, wow. And the ginger ale was cold. I was like, we're in the middle of Florida, in Kissimmee, Florida. And this shit happens and it literally is cold and the sandwich isn't super hot. So then, right after that, we're walking down the street and we walk up to this tree. And this is a true fucking story. This is a true story. I still can't believe that this happened. Okay. After that, we're walking down the street and we go next to this tree, and I see this bag, and something tells me to go open the bag, and it's a bag of fruit. It's a full bag of fruit, oranges and apples, and I fucking love oranges and I love apples, but they weren't those soggy ass nasty apples. They were those crispy apples that crunch when you bite into them. And I was just like, this is perfect. Who like, what are the odds of this? So I've had things physically manifest for me like that. Anubis does stuff like that, and it seems very unreal, but it happens, and it has happened to me before. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is. Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. How do you know if you come from there? Talk to talk to Lucifer. You can talk to Anubis. Anubis would probably be someone who it's gonna take some time for him to reveal that to you because he's not trusting, especially when you ask about those things when it comes to when it comes to those kind of technologies and it comes to that. Good luck, because I don't know. You can't, you can go to people like VK and he can identify that for you. He can. He does that. Um, Other than that, I have no idea. I have no idea. What do I think about the energy in Florida? It's fucking nuts. It's crazy. All right. So, okay, you want to talk about rappers who sell their soul? Rappers who sell their soul don't know what spirits they're working with because those spirits are working with the directors, which are subordinates to those people. Does that make sense? Though the directors are subordinates to the rapper, they're above the rapper. So they don't truly know what kind of spirits the director or the producers are working with when it comes to the occult. Most artists don't know, and they blindly sign a contract. And they don't sell their soul. They literally just sign a contract to be bound with a specific spirit that's going to ride them, and that's going to basically drive them into the fucking ground because they don't know about that kind of stuff. And it's a fact. This is what you see happen every single time. They don't know what it is. Yes, he is. He was fucking awesome. He was one of my favorite fucking artists. He was one of my favorite artists all time. Why don't they? Because they don't know about that. They don't know about it. They don't know about packs. They don't know about those kind of things. There are certain ones that do know, that get in, that know about it. There are certain ones that work with Paulo, that go to Tata, and or go to Polero, and then they learn about it in that way. But other than that, most of them don't know. And even the ones that go work with them, they don't know what they're doing because if they did, why do you have to go to anyone? Why do you have to consume anyone's energy or take anything? That's just what I feel. Some people some people just really truly don't know. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. Yes, yes, they have. They have, Cap. Thank you, 305, for asking that question because I was very um yeah, he's fucking awesome, dude. Mike, he's awesome. I fucking highly recommend him. Not even like, super close or anything like that, but he's fucking awesome. He's very, very helpful. Um, Very helpful. Yes, you can. Bune has done that for me. Bune has done that for me. LJ, yes, it's a fact. Yes. Yeah. Aku, it's funny as fuck 'cause it's probably fucking true. It's probably true. And most of them get into that shit and they have someone else that is above them that gets into that shit. Some people have to have somebody who's above them. Some people don't. Some people have to be initiated. Some people don't got to be initiated. For the most part, I would just say just go down your path and find your way. But don't trust all these fucking people. Don't trust all these psychics. Don't trust all these motherfuckers because they don't have your best interest. That's what I want to say. Don't trust all these fucking people. So Daryl, do a ritual, bro. Do a protection ritual. And yes, sorry, 305. Yeah. They have in my dreams, and every time I'm sad, every time I feel down, they have come. They've come. I've seen my cat, even when my cat passed away, even when my dog passed away. I've seen them in my house. I've seen them walk around. I've seen them in dreams, and my girl finally was able to see our cat as well, and I know that made her come to peace with it too. So yes, I have. I have. I can't like summon them or anything because I just don't see it as right, to do that to them. I love them, but you know, I feel like they had their own little energy. They had their own little workings to go through. They had their own little healing to work through, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, they're not all good. They're not all good. They are fucking not. So many of them are fucking frauds. There's a lot of frauds. There's a lot of frauds out there. So be fucking careful. Be very fucking cautious. Because they'll just drain you. A lot of them are vampires, and that's a fact at the end of the day. A lot of them are vampires. A lot of them will fuck with you. A lot of them will torment you to suck the fear out of you, to take your luck essence, to take your life force, to suck out your light. A lot of the initiators into Palo and into voodoo will take your light. It's true. It's a fact. So you do better do some divination on it to really understand what that, you know what I'm saying? Do some divination. Hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's a weak point. It's a weak point for me too. Yeah, they will. They will. They will. What else do you guys want to see? What else? Like, what other things do you guys want me to be putting out there? What other kind of videos and stuff? Ooh, that's a good one. How can you get in contact with Freya? Um, Shields, swords, weaponry. Dedicate a weapon to Freya. Dedicate a shield to Freya. Dedicate feathers to Freya. Go outside. Go in nature. Okay. Talk and tell. The elementals and the nature spirits to connect you to the energies of Freya, or have someone that's a higher up from Norse mythology, like Odin or Loki, come forward and help you to connect with her because that can help too. Freya is amazing, but I would say you can dedicate weapons to Freya. Just give the intention that this weapon is for Freya. This weapon is for Freya. This shield is for Freya. This water is for Freya. This bowl of offering, this fire is for Freya. Give offering, and that's how you can connect to her. That's how you can connect to a lot of the um, Norse spirits. You want me to do tree spirits? Or you want me to do treants? I love treants. I fucking love Norse mythology. I love Norse mythology. Like I'm a gamer too. So when it comes down to gaming or playing Elder Scrolls, playing Skyrim, I literally like pay attention to all of the different lore because a lot of them are spirits there's a lot of energies that I have met before. I have a very strong fucking connection to nature spirits. So I can make videos on treants. I probably want to talk to them first, but I've had more experiences, than I can even count on one hand with tree spirits. There are elven spirits. There are elves, Edward. There are. There are dark elves and there are light elves, and then there are what are considered to be dwarves. I have experiences with dark elves in the form of human incarnations. Okay, when it comes to light elves, I haven't really met any light elves. I fucking love God of War. Yeah, God of War is dope. That was one of my favorite games too. You don't have to give you look for Anubis. You do not have to give offering. You do not have to worship Anubis. Literally, you can just call to Anubis and talk to him. You don't have to give him offering. It's a sign of respect to them, and you will gain their favor a lot faster than someone who, doesn't really give offering unless you're someone who is family already. Unless you're someone who aligns to that pantheon, then you most definitely will be able to connect further to them. Without offering. But You can give them offering. It's fine. It's not really anything that, you got to worry about. That's what I'll say. Dragons are, yes. Yeah, what's up, Cole? The thieving house. Anubis can do that. Anubis can shapeshift. The Fae are real. Yes. Yes. So you guys want me to make videos on the Treants? Okay. Okay, I could do that. Shrine of Anubis, yes. Shrine of Anubis, that's my G right there. That's my dog. She is dope as fuck. She is dope as fuck. She can tell you a lot of things that you want to know about Anubis. But I can tell you right now as well. She will also tell you about non-human dialect. Okay, she knows about non-human dialect. She knows about extraterrestrials. She's also, I don't know if she gives these kind of readings, but she does art where she can identify who your spirit family is, who your star family is. So she can identify aspects or your origins when it comes down to which extraterrestrials you connect to more, but also which spirits you connect to more. She's a dope ass medium, and her divination is fucking on point. She was one of my personal readers. She's dope. My day is pretty good. It's pretty good. The stealing elves. Uh, yeah, they're from Norse mythology. They're from Norse mythology. Um, uh, what is it called? What is it called? Um, Murkhan. I forgot the other one, but it starts with an S. It's like SV. That's another one, but they say that that's actually one that doesn't exist. Because when you want to learn about the elves or you want to understand them, you have to go into Norse mythology and understand the breakdown of the nine Norse worlds. Also, if you're someone who aligns to any kind of Draconians or have a Draconian lineage or Draconian origin, you know about the nine worlds. You will know about them a lot. It'll be ingrained basically just in your DNA. Do you know how to ride horses or steal them? Never rode a horse before. I've actually never ridden a horse. No, no, you don't become dependent on anyone else's energy. You you can feed, but you feed on certain sources. I know certain people actually. I love when you guys fucking ask about stuff like this because this is the stuff that really isn't addressed as much. And you caught me at a good time to be able to talk about this shit. When people that are vampires, when they feed, they don't have to feed on somebody all the time, but they feed on specific sources of energy. There are different kinds of energy, and there are different kind of vampires. So certain vampires feed on people's negative energies. So you can have a friend who's a psychic vampire that sucks the energy of negativity away from you, that literally benefits you when you're around them. You can have someone that sucks depression away from you. They can take a lot of that energy and benefit from it, because there are certain psychic vampires that can suck the um, just the bad off of you. There are people who are vampires that can suck parasites directly out of your energy field, and you can sacrifice parasites to them. You don't become dependent on their energy, no, but there are some people and some beings that you have to siphon energy from as a psychic vampire when it comes down to different kinds of sexual energy or things like that. So yeah. What does a dream mean when your canine falls out? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they are. They are. They are, LJ. Yeah, it can. I agree. Ooh, yeah. If you want to really like, if you want to work with runes, they're fucking work with Norse mythology. Like, work with Odin. Work with spirits like Loki to understand the chaos of them. You can work with chaos runes. You can work with Frigg as well. Fucking just awesome. Just awesome, for real. Yeah, it's weird because my device just died. It died, so that's why. So make them. Yeah, Firstborn, I used to work very close to the mantids, but I don't work with them anymore. I haven't been able to. I really want to though, but I'm gonna start working with a lot of nature spirits again, especially when I make my communication and my contact back with Amdusias, because that's exactly what I'm gonna want to learn, so that I can work with the sylphs and I can work with insectoids, for sure. Yeah, you can use them for reading, for divination. How does that energy affect you? Some of us can just digest it and it won't affect us, and it'll literally just come into our body and our energy centers and it'll benefit us. Some of us just have darker origins, or, darker energy that can feed on that, that can take it. How do you know you're working with the rights? How do you know you're not working with a fake? Test them all the time. Ask them questions all the time. Make sure that you are testing them 24/7. Test them. Test them. Test everything that they tell you. Stop. Stop it. Sorry, my cat is crazy. He's trying to touch the electric socket. But test them. Test them. I didn't say a book. I was just saying the 9 Norse worlds. Look into the 9 Norse worlds. You'll find out about the elves. There's a lot of them on there. How do you connect to extraterrestrial spirits? You can look at their picture, research them. You researching them is going to bring them to you. They're going to get interest. They're going to gain interest to you. You can watch videos about them. You can try to telepathically link yourself to them if you're someone who can astral travel. If you can astral travel, you can connect to whoever the fuck you want. So if you're good at leaving your body or bilocating, just sitting here and daydreaming and bilocating somewhere else, you'll be able to contact any race of extraterrestrials that you want. I used to do it all the time, and that's how I ended up coming in contact with the mantids. Yes, you can. I have. I've actually had initiations done where I would smoke and I would be really fucking high, and I would get contact, real contact, where I would like fall into a deep trance and really see it like I was in that world, you know, in this trance while walking and talking with Bune, when I got initiated into necromancy and understanding really what it was. I mean, when it comes down to when I've never seen him as a person, LJ. Most of them, I don't see them. I don't ever see them have a humanoid look or humanoid features. They're always like, they're always a form that is. I'm. I think the reason why they take that form is because I don't fucking trust energy of. I don't trust humans. So if they take on a form of human, I'm going to be very defensive. You know what I mean? I'm going to be very pissed off. So they take on forms. I'm more comfortable with seeing them as their self. I'm more comfortable with seeing them as animal spirits, seeing them as lichen, or seeing them as, an elf, or seeing them as a dwarf, or seeing them as a really demonic, distorted shadow figure. I'm way more comfortable with connecting to these kind of imageries than I am connecting to humans. I don't trust humans from the stuff that I've learned about on my path. That's just me. Yep, anything can. So just keep going. Just keep going. Keep going. What meditation am I into? Um, hmm. I like to use binaural beats. I love binaural beats. I love to, sometimes chill out and just fucking relax and and listen to a binaural beat. Also, see if you guys really want to if you guys really want to kind of meet spirits and you're first wanting to contact them and you want a real experience, go to fucking Satania's channel because they have some really fucking awesome chants and meditations that they have on there that you can get real contact through these chants with these spirits, and these chants come directly from, VK himself. So you can most definitely have real contact in doing those meditations. I've tried a few of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Yeah, he does. That's why he'll come around when you're researching them. Yes, yes, you have to do. Yes, you do. And energy, that's why I stopped smoking. That's truly why I stopped smoking weed. I can't do it. Not even I'm not knocking it or anything. I fucking love it, I love the feeling and everything, but I'm way too open. I am way too sensitive and way too involved in the off world to be that vulnerable when it comes down to those kind of things, because weed opens me up to far more. It just makes me feel like I'm going straight into an out of body experience, and there's so much shit that's there. If I'm under the influence, I can't control it. I can't. So I started just I laid off it and just started smoking cigars. Yeah, exactly. I had to stop. Look, look, Miguel, I can't. I have methods, but I don't have any other methods that I can give you because I don't. You're gonna have to find it yourself. Like for other people who have gotten those things from me or gotten those service, you're gonna have to find it yourself because I can't recommend something to you that I don't know is gonna work for you. I don't like to do that. Just like people who are asking me about health questions, I don't do that. I'm not a health professional. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to be liable or responsible for you fucking yourself up if you get yourself into anything that I recommend, okay? Because I'm not responsible for your well-being, and I'm not about to put anything out there when it comes down to that. With techniques to open it, you're gonna have to find that. You're gonna have to go to other channels to determine what works for you. Maybe frequencies work for you. Maybe mantras and vibrations of certain words will work for you. Maybe mudras, will work for you. Maybe, yoga positions will work for you and open it up more. Maybe someone doing an initiation on you, which I don't do when it comes down to that stuff. I don't do that. Maybe that will help. Maybe you need to work with a specific pantheon to open that up. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't do that. Maybe energy can help you. She's pretty good at this stuff too. Hmm. Yeah, it does. So if I don't get back to you, I'm sorry. I can't get back to people all the time. I can't reply all the time. I'm not gonna be like replying all the time. I'm not always looking at my stuff, and I'm becoming far more busy as the days progress. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm working on, and I have a life too, so I can't, always be checking up or helping or um, dependent on because I'm a person too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, you can't. You don't reach a point where you develop too many. It just can be very overwhelming, man. Like when you first start off, if you're not experienced enough, you you don't want. Well, I mean, look, you don't want to overdo it unless you feel like you're ready for that. When I was doing it, I just would ask my guides, and they'd be like, "No," but knowing myself, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go overkill because that's just me. I just like shit like that. I like to experience stuff like that. But that's me. You might be different than that. And I don't recommend taking that approach because I had some hard lessons that I had to learn that way. LJ, I need you to understand something. When you do when you do prayers, that's an invocation. That's you inviting them in. You're going to become possessed. So if you do that, you know, you might not be comfortable with that. Is what I'm saying. Like if you're doing an invocation, you might not be really comfortable with that. So kind of take caution with that. Um, I'd say just get him a statue, set up some stuff for him, set up an energy, set up a place where he can house his energy, where you can meditate, talk to him, take out his favorite tarot card, give him his favorite stuff, and you can go from there. You can form that bond with him. Some people have a stronger bond with him, some people don't. And a lot even and this is really funny too because there's a lot of African Americans like that. There's a lot of black people that don't align with Anubis because Anubis doesn't work with everybody. He doesn't. These spirits don't work with everybody, and they don't work with everybody. Some people say that, oh yeah, it's in your heritage, it's blah 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 blah. It's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. Like it's far deeper than your actual human origins. There's a lot more to this shit than just your human vessel. So because there's people who are Puerto Rican, there's people who are white that really align with Anubis. There's people who I have met that were European that have really strong connections to Anubis too. It really depends on who you are on a soul level when it comes down to working with these beings, or it's going to take you more time to build your relationship with them. Is black hair? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Sufi is really fucking awesome. I agree. Yo, I agree, Ali. Damn, you have some good tips. That's pretty dope. Do you make videos too, Ali? Cause that's some shit you don't really hear about all the time too. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Exactly. No problem. No problem. Do I think Frey is dangerous? I, I can't say that because I don't think the same way as a lot of you. I don't think the same way as a lot of you. So I don't know. What I think is dangerous might not be something that I mean, what I think isn't dangerous might be something that you consider dangerous. It might be something that's scary to you. What I think is very amazing might be something that's super scary and frightening to you. What I think is intriguing might be offensive to you. So I can't say. I can't say. And from my perspective though, she's a fucking she's a powerhouse. And the ones that I call powerhouses, I just mean they're like they get shit done. They make it happen. They make it happen. So that's what I'll say about that. Okay, that's how I feel about that. Mm-hmm. A gray being with blue eyes. I mean, look. When it comes to salt, you can put a circle of salt. That's up to you. But why show them that you're scared of them? That's a practice that is going to make you a source of food to them. Like it's going to make them not respect you. You're not going to have. It's going to make them not respect you if you're fearing them, if you're scared. If you make it and you feel like, okay, I need to take these necessary precautions, that's fine. But if you're actually scared of them and you feel like you need to be protected from them, you don't need to be working with them. You don't need to work with them at all. Because, I mean, I did that at first, but I feel like the results weren't as good as me just allowing them to come forward and sorry. Yeah, but if you're using it and you have fear, you're going to offend them and they're going to feed. They're going to feed on you. Like it's a fact. So you got to be careful with that. You got to be real careful with that unless you really know what you're doing.
Never. No, I never have. Never have Aku. I've never even heard of that ever. I don't know what that is. Yeah, and they will. They will exactly. Yeah, they do too. Yeah, they. I experienced that. I experienced a lot of poltergeist stuff, especially like energy shifting inside of my um furniture shifting in here, creaking, stuff like that, footsteps. Yeah. The first one that I worked with was a Gen 2. The first one that I ever worked with was Pyman. So yeah. What are my thoughts on consecrating items and idols? Highly fucking recommended if you want to have a real established link to a spirit or their consciousness. I highly recommend. I have idols too. I recommend having idols and consecrating a statue for them. I have one for Pazuzu, for one for Belial, one for Anubis, one for a few different beings, you know. So I highly recommend it for sure. Yeah, I do. Okay, the difference between an in and an invocation. So, an incantation is just a chant that gets you further into meditation. It's a chant that gets you further into meditation. You can use a demonic in and just summon them and evoke them. Okay, it's a means to use for evoking them, bringing them in front of you. Right, summon them in front of you. Invocation is possession. Okay, it's just another way of saying possession. It is you getting possessed to obtain gnosis, to obtain some type of alchemical change within your life, within yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's awesome. She's really awesome. Yeah, I used to experience that a lot, Cole. But it was because I was too, I was too sensitive. I needed to like raise my vibration because when you raise your vibration and you meditate more, the more often you meditate, the more your energy will come back like this and you'll be in control. So you won't be going into these realms automatically and not being able to control it. You'll be able to do it on a whim and be like, okay, I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to shut off communication and I'm going to stop. And that's how it works. So yeah, that's what they are. I hope that answers your question. Yes, you give offerings to the spirits too that inhabit the idols. I agree. Hell yeah, Arctic does. He's dope. Mm-hmm. That is a big thing. Yes, it is. My viewpoints on alchemy. Mm. What are you really asking? Like, what is it that you're trying to know about? Because there's a lot of different alchemical, you know, processes. There's a lot of things that alchemy entails. Um, but my viewpoint on it in general, it's really awesome because it's stuff that can change your life. It's things that can change your perspective, towards a lot of beings, towards a lot of systems of magic, and towards a lot of different forms, you know, of belief. It can also help you to ease yourself, ease your anxiety, ease depression, and help you to initiate better into specific currents. It's necessary, very necessary, is what I will say. Hell yeah. Yes, set it up, set it up, set it up, Respucia. It's gonna be fucking awesome. You give her that sword, dedicate any kind of warlike items to her, things that she likes. She loves gold, so if you have gold or yellow or, things like that, or you have red or anything that's fiery, she loves that. You can also give her your anger. Okay, so if you have a statue of her, you can hold it and you can push your anger into it. That can be an offering to her. She can feed on that. Okay, you can put your emotions into your idols, not necessarily charging them, but if you have the intent and you have the spirit there and it's really housed there, they're going to consume that energy as an offering. You can. Yeah, it definitely has me interested too, energy. It's whew, whew. Yeah, I've worked with Horace before. Horace is fucking dope too. He's one of the main ones that was around me. Are you good? Yeah. Um, he's one of the main ones that was around me with Anubis. Okay, so he was one of the main ones who was a protective spirit over me. Horus helps with alchemy, okay, sexual alchemy. He helps you to understand your partner, your partner's perspective. He helps you to understand how to come from left and right brain and how to switch consciousness. He helps you to understand the different worlds that you might be entering, okay, and he also helps you to understand the atmosphere that you're going to be experiencing when you travel to different worlds, because there are certain worlds that have sulfur, there are certain worlds that have different kinds of chemicals that you might not connect to or do well in being exposed to. So Horus is very good with introducing you to new atmospheres, okay? Helping you understand where you are and what you're doing. Yes, yes. He can help with anxiety and anger. Sorry, I'm just not answering all of them, but he can help with anxiety and anger. He's really good. He'll help you with that. Um, Especially when it comes to water, when you're working with water with him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know, Mom. I told you. Twin. Energy. You're right. You're right. Because that shit affected that affected some of my family. You're right. The jinns are different. Very different. They're probably some of the most mysterious beings that you will ever encounter. So when you talk to them or you work with them, especially when you've built that relationship with them, they are very different. They can be very, very odd and unusual, and the things that come from their alchemy can affect people in ways that you might not be affected by, but other people around you might, and it might freak them out. So, I'm not sure. Ask them. Hmm. They can. Yeah, they can. They can, I mean, but so can other demons too, other kind of demons. Hmm. Yeah, because they're similar. It's similar. But some people work with shadows. When it comes down to them. I don't see why you couldn't, LJ. It'll probably be overwhelming if you're someone like if you don't have experience with both of them and you try to work with them at the same time. It's going to be very overwhelming because they Anubis gets results. That's all I'm about to say. Hecate gets quick results, and she works a little different than Anubis. She's a little more. I would. She's not in your face, but she's just a little more. What the fuck do you want? You know. Whereas Anubis is raw. He's kind. He'll be in your face. At times, but he's not going to be extremely like. He's not going to be extremely over the top. If you're someone who's not used to Hecate, you're not going to do well with that energy yet. So you might want to build up on that. So read about her more, learn about her more, learn about black magicians that actually have experiences with Hecate and these spirits. Research her more so you can really understand what her energy would be like. But I wouldn't recommend working with two of them at the same time if you're not really experienced yet, okay? Because that can create something different that can create another spirit. So just be very cautious when it comes down to that. A meet. I haven't experienced a meet. Have I ever been attacked by an ancestor? No, I haven't. No. That didn't want the best for me. A beginner Jin would be Paimon. Paimon. He'd be the easiest step to take. The easiest step to take would be with Paimon. You do not want to try to use the Necronomicon if you are not ready. So, Paimon. All right, see you, Arctic. Thanks, man. Oh, nice. Really? Like the ritual or the book, Cole? Also, LJ, I used to have spirits like that too. Damn, that's gonna be crazy, Cole. That's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to hear about your experience when it comes to that, because that's gonna be a wild ass initiation that's going to bring forward a lot of things that are, you know, dormant. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's gonna be really cool. When are they supposed to perform it, or did they perform it? Mm-hmm. Well, I used to have those dreams too, LJ. So you might actually be being like called from a specific being from the Egyptian pantheon. Nice. That's really fucking cool. Nice. Is that expensive or Cole? I'm just asking. I'm just curious. No problem. No problem, Respicia. No problem. Just read more. Just read about her and take, certain pieces from different people or different people's experiences, but don't take everyone's, for the same. Don't take everyone's and just run with it. Have your own experience too. Have an open mind because you're going to be having different kinds of experiences. Thank you, Asta. So Asta, you can talk to Paimon. He can help you get the understanding of the mindset of Jinn. And he's a really good beginner spirit as well. He's pretty awesome, and he's very patient. He's just different. The Jinn are different. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can work with him for that. He can help you out. No problem. Holy dude, Cole, damn, damn, that's crazy. Damn, but hey, do your thing. Do your thing. Shit, cause that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, the ritual, I understand that, but a divination? That's fucking nuts. But hey. I just hope you got, what what you wanted from it and that it aligned with you. Thank you, Five. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate you guys that are supporting me, and fuck, that's pretty awesome. Damn, I didn't expect that. Thank you so much. This goes a long way. Oh, I know you gained a lot from it. I'm pretty sure you did. Like, they're fucking awesome, and I can sense who you probably got it from too, cause a lot of them on there are dope as fuck. You know what I mean? So no shade, bro. Like, there's a lot of shit that you can really get from that, and they know how to truly look into you. So I'm excited for you, dude. Oh, I bet it was. I bet it was. Wow, that's surprising. That's crazy. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I did not expect it. The Ankh, the Ankh is it's 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 your sexual energy coming to the apex. It's your Kundalini coming to the apex, coming to the top of your brain. It's higher consciousness. It's the connection to the divine. It's the sign of true enlightenment, the sign of truth, the sign of ascension. Yeah, it really wasn't. And I was never really good either, but hey. Thanks, man. So the Ankh also is very, very protective too, okay? It's a very protective symbol. I have one. Where's it at? Right there. But I would say I recommend it for those who have experiences with it. Obviously, you're having experiences with the Egyptian gods. I mean, get the Ankh. I feel like it's a really good symbol to have. It's very empowering. What was Lucifer like? Really fucking powerful and very respectable. He was very respectable. Not stern, not evil, not some asshole. He was like a a general, literally like a king. Like you can tell that he doesn't fuck around, but you also can tell that if he respects you, and I could just feel all this energy coming from him that was letting me know that everything was okay and that the work that has been put in has not gone unnoticed. So he was uplifting, very, very respectable, very, if that's the right word, like personable. He was awesome, and really, really, really convincing. Like he is very, very convincing, you know, and a good teacher when it comes down to connecting to him, especially if he's teaching you anything. When he's giving you those step-by-step instructions, he breaks it down to the point where you really can understand it. So he was awesome. Oh, you want to know my thoughts on her? Sorry. Lilith, my experiences with her, because I haven't done any real work with her, but from my experience with Lilith, she was very, very, very kind. Really strange. Because a lot of them are strange, but in a good way, in a really good way. Can't quite put my finger on what that is, about them, but they're really cool and at the same time very intriguing. And she's also someone who's very respectable and very knowledgeable in a lot of different shit. Lilith is very, very awesome when it comes down to asking about advice for your relationship. If you're wanting to look into your relationship, if you're wanting to divine into a relationship, if you're wanting to work on things, or you're trying to understand the perspective of a female or a male, okay, because they can help you to really understand that. But she also can boost your sex drive like no other. So if you're someone who wants to have a boost in your virility, Lilith is a really good energy to work with and invoke for that kind of inner alchemy. What do I think about selling soul? I don't believe in that, I believe that there are some that get their soul snatched, but that's because they get too far into certain things and they get taken. But selling your soul, I don't believe that that's actually a concept. I mean, unless you're just willingly becoming a slave and you're willingly just becoming a slave. Like, I don't really know how to put that, I don't know how to put it in any other words, but it's in your mind. That's in your mind. I feel like it's meant to be metaphorical. No problem. Who would I recommend? Who would I recommend? That depends. I would determine, this is how I would determine who to work with. What's your zodiac sign? Okay, now when you look at what your zodiac sign is, look at which planetary energies that you align with. When you look at these planetary energies and your zodiac sign, then you can look for which demons have a direct attribute to that planet and which demons have that attribute to your zodiac sign. That's how I would determine who you would work with, what energies would align with you very well. Because it's really funny, every time that I've gotten a reading, when it came down to connecting to certain spirits, it was very on point, to the point where I realized that if I just looked at my zodiac sign and I looked at my planets, that I have that are very dominant, every single one of those spirits that wanted to connect with me has a specific planet that they have attributes to. And they have a specific zodiac sign that they align with. So that's what I would say. Um, any experiences with Leviathan? Leviathan is really fucking dope if you want to get rid of some shit. I like to talk to Leviathan, and I like to use Leviathan if I'm trying to really get rid of something that's really fucking annoying and an energy that won't leave me the fuck alone. So if I'm going to be doing a kind of banishing of sorts, I'm going to go to Leviathan and I'm going to tell him what I want to get rid of and what I'm trying to do. His energy will be raw and chaotic for that exact reason. When you use him for the right stuff, then you won't be experiencing that as much. So I use him to get rid of stuff. He's like the one that cleans house for me. I love Leviathan for that reason. I've never worked with him in any other ways though. Can they use synchronicity to deceive you? Uh, hmm. To deceive you with synchronicity. Some people, yeah, people, not spirits though. Because when it's like that, that's the ones that are aligned to you. That's the ones you work with. Look, she probably, Camilo, she probably was fucking with and offending him. The only way that that happens, the only way anyone gets harmed is when you offend them and you're fucking with them. Don't fuck with them, don't disrespect them, and that won't happen. That's how it works. Don't disrespect them. And that's probably the main reason why she said that. Because she believed that he was evil from the jump. She believed because of what they taught her, what her family said, whatever, from the jump. So then that's what happens. That's what happens. Working through addictions, Bune, okay? Marcosius is really good for that. Lucifer, Pazuzu. Those are my 5 main ones that I would recommend for working with an addiction. But I would hella recommend Pazuzu over all of them. Pazuzu and Lucifer would be the main ones. And then I would say Bune would be the last one. I mean, he's not really dangerous to talk to. You just really need to not disrespect him. She probably disrespected him. That's literally the only way that that has happened because I've talked to quite a few people who have had a relationship, who have worked with him, that have respected him, and nothing like that has happened. That's what comes to people that fuck with them and think that it's okay to do that. There's certain things that you don't do with spirits. There's certain things that you don't say to them. When you get disrespectful with them, when you're using God's name, when you're using Adonai, things like that, you're gonna mix shit up and you're gonna fucking stir some shit up that you're not gonna be able to get yourself out of. If you didn't ask for direct permission, you don't have to ask for direct permission. Just work with him. Would that be good at? There are some that are out there. I would say just look into them. I don't like putting that information out there. I have videos on it, but I'm not about to say that because I know I have people who are looking at that shit that want to use that stuff. So I'm not putting that out there. But I'll just say I have a video on it. I'm not recommending any spirits for that. So that's that. I'm changing that subject. Yep. Yeah, he's not evil. All right, see you, dude. Barbados. Okay. I've talked to Barbados once. I talked to Barbados once, Ryan. Barbados is very awesome. Barbados is a spirit that helps you to connect with the energies and understand the energies of nature, but also your animals. So Barbados could help you communicate further to your familiars if you have a physical, familiar. If you have pets, is what I'm saying. You'll understand the language of your pets. More so the birds. That's like his main, um, excuse me, his main energy. Papa Legba? No, I don't. I don't. The only one that I have experiences with is Ilegua. I'm not sure if they're exactly the same. I don't say that because I don't want to disrespect the energies. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I know. I know Camilo. I'm just saying I have videos on it. Funny that you ask about Zeus because Zeus is pretty awesome. Um, Zeus, to me, because I've only experienced him briefly, and he's really knowledgeable, very, very intelligent, can really help you with philosophy, can really help you with understanding how to work with fire energy, if that makes sense. Okay? Because I haven't experienced him as much. See you. Have I worked with Vine? Yeah. I've only worked with Vine maybe like twice. Vine's cool though. Vine was very calm, very soothing, very fucking intelligent and patient. Giving offerings to an idol and disposing of the offering. I would say dispose of the offering when you feel like it's been there too long. Because if you feel like it's been there too long, throw it away. Giving offerings to them, just say a chant to them, give them their favorite oil, give them their favorite incense, give them the favorite food, and leave it there with that energy. And the more you meditate there, the more you sit with it, the more you're going to connect to it, and the more the energy is going to be present. Yes, he is. I don't know why he does. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. Aries. Never work with Aries. I don't know. I don't know. Never worked with Aries. Never worked with Hades. I've only sensed his energy signature today in a reading, so I'm going to be looking into him because I need to know about him for future reference. If anybody has him around them, I can understand what I can tell them about him from experience because I like to do that. I don't use banishing as often. I don't use it really anymore. I just let them leave. That's just me. I mostly do all of my work now inside of my room, my ritual room, to get rid of, like, just to keep the energies from being in my house. Just being in the room because I'm really used to it, but I don't want to, have my girl affected by those energies because I know it can be intense. Um, you can't fully reanimate one. No, but you can bring forward their energy. You can literally bring forward their essence to full manifestation if you're experienced enough. and it'll be as if you're fully reanimating them. Yes. Yes, you can. The most fun? The most fun one would have to be the ones that I did with Amdusius, because I just love my dark side. I embrace my dark side. So when I was doing work with Amdusius, especially when it came to shadowmancy and going to someone and projecting myself with shadows, even with Pyman, because Pyman does that too. Pyman's more so all around though. That's the most fun. Shadowmancy is the most fun to me when I can see them reacting to, you know, the shadow that's being put there. It's just unlike anything that you could ever imagine. It's crazy, but it's awesome. hmm what do I recommend for Marcosius? Use sandalwood. If all else fails, use sandalwood. Either sandalwood or dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is universal too, so you can use dragon's blood. Um, Paimon, Azazel, two of my favorites when it comes down to those kind of magic. I like Azazel. He gets down. He just gets down to business. Um, yeah. But let me see. Keep practicing. That's the advice. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Find what works for you. And if something works for you, use that until you can find something else that works for you more. And then you'll build a system of techniques that work for you. But I'm going to have to go because I have a ritual that I'm going to need to tend to. No problem. They talk to you telepathically, but they also can talk verbally. It really depends on your ability. Of course, thank you guys. This is going to be up a little later. Everybody who donated, thank you, because I really don't usually expect that. This is very new to me. So, wow, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead, Aku. Go ahead. Yeah, I have a Patreon now. Yeah, Aku, I do. Um, I'm gonna put my Patreon up on one of in the community. Okay, I haven't made everything on there yet. I haven't put the rituals that I'm gonna be putting up, but I'm gonna be putting them up pretty soon. But that's gonna be for my second tier. Okay, but I'm most definitely, I have it ready and I have it finished. I just have to work on it and put the other stuff on there. But it's ready. I'll put my Patreon name on the community. Okay, and I'll put my Instagram in the community post as well. Yes, yes. All right, guys. See you.